Welcome everyone to roundtable number 18 of the Mindful CIO community. The theme for this evening is human skills over technical prowess. And our guest speaker for this evening is Ram Chandrasegaran, who I will introduce shortly. Our intention here of the in the Mindful CIO community roundtable events is twofold. Number one is to explore ways to make the Mindful CIO Manifesto a reality in our teams and organizations. And number two is to connect you with like-minded peers and inspiring tech leaders and thought leaders. So, and we do all of that in an environment that is, thanks, Kartik. And we do our best to create an environment that is safe, where you feel that it's safe to share, to learn, to exchange experiences, and have robust and authentic conversations. So we value diversity is actually one of our 4 principles. So with that in mind, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet virtually today. In my case, the Wurundjeri people here in Melbourne, and we'd like to pay our respects to the elders past and present, and we commit ourselves to a future with reconciliation at its heart. May that be so. A little bit of housekeeping, logistics. In the interest of time, we ask you to keep thoughts and questions in the chat box. Throughout the evening, we'll do our best to address them as soon as practical as possible. Michael will keep an eye on those, and please don't be shy to share your questions in the chat box for Ram as well throughout the conversation, and we'll have a Q&A at the end. Be mindful, please, that while the conversations in the breakout rooms in the smaller groups are confidential, we invite you to keep confidentiality. The discussions here in this larger plenary are actually recorded and published on our YouTube channel, which is public. So just keep that in mind. So this is roughly the agenda. So shortly, I'll ask you to briefly unmute yourself and introduce yourself, just name, role, organization, and also one word for how you're feeling this evening. So be ready. And around 7:15, we'll invite Ram to have a conversation. 7:45, roughly we'll move into breakout room for discussions to digest everything that we heard from Ram and have a little bit of discussion about what human skills over technical prowess means for us. And we will aim to close at 8:30. So for those who I haven't met, I'm Nat. I have worked in the tech space for over a decade, both in Brazil and here in Australia, with a variety of organizations across several industries. So worked with companies like IBM and EY in Brazil, Accenture, and AGL Energy here in Australia. And in 2016, after a sabbatical, I made a bold career change. So today I teach positive psychology at Monash to master's students, run Leading with Emotional Intelligence workshops for the Australian Institute of Management, and run my own executive coaching practice for tech leaders. We are looking for sponsors, partners, and supporters. So if you know a purpose-driven organization that is keen to get involved, please send them our way. And if you're wondering who is in the room, this is the list of the people who registered on Humanitics. I'm so sorry, Kartik, I just realized I don't have your organization name. My apologies for that. And I noticed we have a couple of last minute people who registered as well that might not be in the list. And we have 2 apologies this evening. So now I'll stop sharing and over to you. So in 30 seconds or less, would be lovely to hear your name, your organization role, and one word for how you're feeling today. So I will nominate the first person and I'll ask you the next person to nominate the next. So let's start with Chris, returning regular member. You're mute, Chris, I'm afraid. Yes, better now.
Hello. It's always embarrassing when a CIO can't unmute themselves. Although it has a way of making me more human, and I don't normally struggle with being human. My name's Chris Handley. I'm the CIO at Nazarbayev University, which is in Kazakhstan. And what were your other questions? How am I feeling? I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed today because I've been back a week and trying to connect with them and do performance reviews remotely, which is always a pain.
Thanks, Chris. Who would you like to nominate to go next?
Karthik.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Karthik.
Hi. My name is Karthik. I run the AWS Data Analytics Division based in Sydney. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm on travel at the moment in Japan. So good to see you all.
Excellent. Thanks, Karthik. Who would like to go next, Karthik?
I'll nominate Michael.
Cheers.
It's perfect. So I'm Michael. I'm the head of engineering at Tipendium, and I'm going to go with my word for today is invigorated. And I'll throw it over to Lisa.
Okay, thanks, Michael. So I'm Lisa Peters. I'm from Accenture, and my word for today is interested.
Thanks, Lisa. Who's next, Lisa?
I'm going to go with my friend Ram.
Put him on the spot, why not?
Awesome. Thanks, Lisa. Ram here. I'm out at the Bureau of Meteorology as a program manager. I reckon my word is proud, because today I made dinner and I got a thumbs up on the food, so I was pretty happy with that. And I'm happy to push it over to Peter.
Thanks, Ram. Peter here, working at ANZ Bank at the moment, around Salesforce and MuleSoft, and have known Ram for a while actually. Bit exhausted at the moment. Kids are bringing a lot of cold and flus home. In Melbourne Head, so I got my camera off. Who would like to go next?
You nominate, Peter. You choose. Who would like to go next?
Pat?
Oh, thanks. Oh, Pat, you still mute. Sorry. I know.
There you go.
Better.
Too technical for me. All right, so hi guys, I'm a friend of Ram's as well. I'm on a professional sabbatical at the moment, ex-consulting, and I guess at the moment I have 4 words: getting over my cold. So it's been a struggle for the past week, but I think I'm on the end of it. And who else? Let me think. Did we have Andrew?
Not yet. That's actually a mindful exercise, isn't it? Thanks, Pat. Yeah, Andy. Andy and Venkat.
Yeah, hi, I'm Andy. I'm looking forward to our holiday, which is in 2 weeks' time, and the background you see is where we are going to sit in a fortnight. So here we go.
Thanks, Andy. And I think Venkat will be next.
Easy, isn't it, Nat? Hi, all. This is Venkat here, based in Melbourne. I'm a technology architect working with Accenture, so I know a couple of folks in the call. I think the one word to summarize my thoughts right now is curious, particularly taking into consideration the topic that is going to be covered today.
Thanks, Venkat. And I think the word, I'm pretty sure everyone had a chance. The word for me is excited and a little bit nostalgic, you know, having Accenture friends around me. It brings a little bit of nostalgia, but excited, very excited to have this chat with Rand. It feels like I'm just catching up with him and have this little bit of audience going on. So thanks everyone for sharing where you're at the moment. And couple of things before we moved forward. As usual, have a door prize. So most of the regulars have this book already, which was published by Harvard Business Review in 2018, and to which I made a small contribution. So it's a book about 21st century leadership, the mind of the leader. So if you are a newbie here, a brand new member, you might get lucky this evening and win the door prize perhaps. So we made a contribution last month, so thanks for those who attended. And up to date now, we've raised just over $4,000 for the Black Dog Institute to support their projects in mental health projects. So as usual, before we invite Ram to the stage to have a conversation, I'd like to guide a short grounding exercise. So most of us had a pretty full-on day with lots of demand around our time, energy. Some of us are not feeling 100%. So I invite you to join me in a one or 2 minutes grounding exercise so we can be fully present to listen and engage with Ram. So you're most welcome to switch off your camera if that makes you feel more comfortable. So feel free to switch off the camera or keep the camera on. And I invite you to adjust your sitting posture so your feet is flat on the ground. Hands are resting on your thighs or whatever they feel comfortable. And you're welcome to close your eyes if that's okay. Or if it feels a bit awkward, just keep your eyes slightly open, looking down, so you don't have the visual field as a distraction for you. And you might want to invite a couple of deep breaths, inhaling through your nose. And then bring your attention to the sounds in the environment. So just listening to one sound at a time. You may start with sounds in the distance. Listening to the space, the silence in between sounds. And then moving to sounds closer to you, sounds within the space, the room you are in. Next, let's shift our awareness to the movements of the body, breathing. So simply noticing what happens to the body as we inhale and exhale. You may notice perhaps the chest area or abdominal region, rib cage expanding as you breathe in. And gently softening as you breathe out. So simply be a witness of your own body breathing. And trust that the body knows how to breathe without your interference. Next, bring your attention to the rhythm of your breath. So noticing if it is deep or shallow, long or short, fast or slow. And again, there is no need to modify or change in any way. Simply notice as it is. Accepting as it is. And then as we're about to wrap up this short grounding exercise, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on your motivation to join this call this evening. So just bring to mind, what would you like to get out of it? how would you like to contribute and to show up? And remind yourself that this is a safe space. So you are surrounded by like-minded people. It is safe to share, to ask, to exchange information, experience. So with that in mind, you may want to let go of the practice, open your eyes if you have them closed, and re-engage. Thank you. Thanks for joining me.